Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host. I'm a little under the weather today, but that doesn't stop me from making my weekly video for you Gold Pick members. This week we're going to learn two versions of Arkansas Traveler in the key of D on guitar. So we're going to learn a very basic version first, just to get that basic melody established. And then we're going to take that and we're going to learn how to turn that into an intermediate version. So much more than just teaching you two versions of the tune, I want to teach you how I think about taking a basic melody and adding stuff to it. That's what we're going to concentrate on, filling in space and also adding a blues note, that flat 3 note, to make it sound more interesting, as well as finding some harmonies with other strings. So I'm excited for us to dive into that together. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, here in a moment, I'll ask you to come over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com. You can join as a Gold Pick member, have access to hundreds of videos and tabs, just like this one. I do a new one each week. And for this particular song, I have the tabs in both PDF and TEF file formats for both versions, as well as 3 different speeds of MP3 guitar rhythm tracks that you can practice along, download and practice along with. And then about a 30-minute video lesson showing you how to play and think about all this stuff. So come and join me. Let's begin with the basic melody version for Arkansas Traveler. You will notice that the first 2 measures are a kickoff. That's not part of the song. Beneath each one of the notes, you're going to see the little pick stroke arrows. That's very important to pay attention to, especially if you're just starting to flat pick. A down arrow would be a down stroke, an up arrow would be an up stroke. Now this is a typical fiddle tune, so it has an A part and a B part. And the chord, in this particular song, the chord changes, the chords are a little bit different. So we'll play an A part which lasts 8 measures, starts there in measure 3, and then we'll repeat that A part. So the typical fiddle tune structure of A, and then we'll have a B part for 8 measures, and then repeat that B part. So the whole structure looks like A, B, B for a total of 32 measures, and then we'll have an ending. Okay, as we get into this kickoff, I've just given you a very basic one. You would use a kickoff if you were going to be the one starting the song, or maybe if you were going to just play it by yourself. It might be a way to kind of introduce the song. But we're going to start with a little shuffle type pattern on the open D string, and it starts with a quarter note, then 2 eighth notes, a quarter note, and 2 eighth notes. Bum, 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 bum. As we get into measure 2, we're just going to play a quarter note on the D string and then walk up the A scale starting on that A note, the D scale starting on that A string, open 2, 4, and that will take us right into this first A part. Now this basic melody that I'm giving you is very, very basic. In fact, if you were to get like other basic melodies of this song, it would be more involved than this one. We're going to play a lot of quarter notes just to keep it really basic, and so that we'll have a place to expand whenever we do the intermediate version. Measure 3 is going to start off on the D string, then the 4th fret, 2nd fret, open, and then land down on the 2nd fret of the A string for 2 notes. So measure 3 sounds like this. Measure 4 is going to have 2 quarter notes on the A string, then we'll come up for a half note on the D string, so that lasts 2 full beats. So let me play it slowly, measures 1 through 4, just so you can hear it together. And then I've got another video here on the site where I play the whole thing through much slower than this. Okay, so you're starting to hear how it comes together. Now when we get to measure 5, very simple measure. We just got 4 quarter notes, 2 on the 2nd fret of the D string, 2 on the 4th fret. And then we're going to use those same fingers to play a little lick here in measure 6. 2, 4, 2, open, 2, open. Now in measure 7, we're going to start something that we've already played before. Measures 7 and 8 are exactly like measures 3 and 4. So it's this little question-answer type deal, right? It starts out with this phrase, and then it'll answer itself like measures 5 and 6. Then it'll ask the question again in measure 7. And then the answer that it gives us second time in measure 9, we're going to jump up. And this is kind of based out of a D chord. If you imagine a D chord, we're basing it on that, but we're going to play it with different fingers. With our middle finger, we're going to grab the 3rd fret of the B string for a quarter note, and then the 2nd fret of the G string for a quarter note, and then open B, 3, 2, open, and then we're just going to walk right down the D major scale in measure 10, 2nd fret of the G string, open, 4, 2, open. So 9 and 10 together sound like this. Very important that you pay attention to those pick stroke directions. Now the second A part in measure 11, we're going to do much of the very same thing, but I really encourage you to print this tab out. If you're watching this on the site, just hit download tabs, that link to the right of the video. Download this PDF, print it out, because now we're going to start building already. So measure 11 is almost exactly like measure 3, except we're just going to add some eighth notes. So the first part of the measure is the same. But in measure 3, we played another quarter note on that 2nd fret. This time we're going to play it twice, 2 eighth notes. Okay, so anytime we're wanting to beef up a version, if there's a quarter note, we could simply just split it into eighth notes and play it twice. The same thing's going to happen in measure 12. Instead of having 2 quarter notes on that A string, the second one we're going to just play it twice for 2 eighth notes. And then we're going to jump up to the D string, do the same thing. I'll just play measures 9 through 12 for you. 3, 4. Now when we get to measure 13, I want you to compare that back with measure 5, which is its corresponding measure in the first A part. In measure 5, we just did 4 quarter notes. We did 2 on the 2nd fret and then 2 on the 4th fret. This time we're going to apply that shuffle type pattern to this just to beef it up a little bit. So we'll play a quarter note, then 2 eighth notes where that other quarter note was, and then switch. Same thing there. Then measure 14 is just like measure 6. Now we'll get back into some repeating in measure 15. So 15 and 16 is almost exactly the same as 11 and 12. Now when we get to measure 17, we're getting ready to wrap up that second A part to go into the B part. So this lick is going to be similar to measures 9 and 10. It's just going to have more eighth notes. So we're going to keep the eighth notes moving. And they're all going to be over this D scale. We're going to start on that 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the B string, and do 3, 2, 3, jump down to the 2nd fret of the G string. And you want to do that with an upstroke. Open B string, 3, 2, open, and then we're going to walk right down the scale, measure 18. So I'll just play that whole lick for you, 17 and 18. Now the last 2 notes in measure 18 are a walk up to starting the first B part. Let's take a look at that now.